Anyway, it is the second Tuesday. It is the fourth Tuesday of the month, and that, of course, means we will be doing the Embedded Correspondents segment with Doug Scheiding from Texas and John Solberg from Michigan and David Huff, I think, from Oklahoma, and Steve Ray from Tennessee. Gentlemen, appreciate you joining me as always. And now I will not say anything and try and catch people in the act. Ooh, very nice.
There we are. There we are.
There we go. All right. Nobody was saying that. Oh, no.
I'm here.
Check 1, 2.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
All right. There we go. I thought I was hearing myself back there, but it must have been a technical glitch. Anyway.
Can you see me?
Yeah. Yes. Steve, I can see.
Unfortunately.
Steve, hey, guess what? It's my show. I'll call on you. Stand down, soldier. Stand down. We have a number of things to get to with Texas and Tennessee and Michigan and Oklahoma. Dave, we'll start with you. I mean, look at you off to the top left there or top right, depending on what you're looking at. What's the theme of this evening for you in Oklahoma?
I just didn't want to mouth breathe, Greg. This was my reminder to not breathe heavily into the mic, just for you.
You are going to breathe, though, too. It sounds like you might be holding back some breathing in general. I don't want you to pass out.
It's okay. The 3 beers and more I got going on will take care of that first. No problem.
All right. Well, that rag might also double as a protector from vomit going into the microphone if you're going to be downing multiple beers over the next 40 minutes. Number of things to get to here, gentlemen, the first of which has nothing to do with barbecue. My first Texas guy could have cared less to answer this question, but I know you guys will pick me up because that's what you do. Steve in Tennessee, kind of a sports guy. NBA Finals, who makes it this year from the East and the West?
Golden State from the West. Milwaukee Bucks from the East.
I like that. I like it. Well reasoned. I mean, do you take Golden
State? Steph Curry in the West for Golden State, and then out you've got
I can't wait to hear this.
Giannis Adebo, Giannis Antetokounmpo,
Antetokounmpo
for the Bucks, the Greek freak.
Yeah. So do you
ball skills?
You like him a lot? You think he's a good player?
Oh, he's the MVP this year. They've got the best record in basketball.
He's the MVP over James Harden, you think?
Absolutely.
All right, absolutely. All right. Now we will go to another basketball mecca, Michigan. John Solberg, noted sports expert, NBA Finals prediction.
I'm going with the Clippers in Orlando and hope that I got one from each division.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe Orlando is out.
Oh, okay. Well, they should have been there.
No, they should not have been there. They were not good.
Hey, I'm trying to push the envelope and get into the sports thing. Did I get at least a team in each of the 2 halves?
Yeah, you got the West Coast is all right. The East Coast was lacking. That's all right. We go to Oklahoma, NBA Finals prediction, David. He's in mute. He doesn't even know it.
Again, with the mouth breathing, trying to avoid it. So my heart says the Thunder, of course, but I'm going to go with the Houston Rockets and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Wow. All right. And then we will end with Doug.
Well, I'd like to go with my Spurs, but I think they're going to get beat by Denver here tonight, and so that'll be the beginning of the end. So I'm going to go with Golden State and the Toronto Raptors.
Really? Toronto Raptors. All right. I see.
Kawhi Leonard, formerly a Spur.
Sure.
I love to hate. He's the quiet assassin. He'll take him down.
I'm going because you got to in order to be the man, you have to beat the man. Golden State coming out of the West. I mean, I understand Houston is a strong team. James Harden, I think, is a very strong contender at repeating his MVP, although Steve thinks that Antetokounmpo is going to be the MVP this year. I think that he will be in the running as a strong repeat. I don't even remember the last time somebody repeated as league MVP, but the way he is playing right now is unbelievable. But I think it's going to be Golden State and whoever said it as well. I'm going to agree with Steve. It's Golden State and Milwaukee. Absolutely. All day long. No doubt about it. Good job. John Solberg, now that I'm switching gears, is in the midst of a project that I have become extremely fascinated with. If you know John, you know he is somebody who, some people like to rescue kittens in boxes on the side of the road. Some people like to help feed the homeless. John likes to find cookers that have been neglected or left out into the ages and ages of rain and weather systems and so forth. But he knows he has found some kind of a pearl or a jewel, but it's just kind of trashed, and he likes to rehab pieces of crap and turn them back into the sparkling gems of whence they were. And he is now in the middle of a project that has caught my attention keenly. And John, I would like you to walk us through exactly what you found, how you found it, and the process you are restoring it through. It's very unique.
It is pretty unique.
Yeah.
I found an original 1947 cooking kettle that was manufactured by the Cooking Tools Company in Tulsa, Oklahoma for about 6 years. This grill is still manufactured today, but it is on its third owner. They're pretty rare. It is a cast iron cauldron with call it a rotisserie ring on top and then a lid. It is 108 pounds of cast iron. Meathead had said in an article it was the precursor to the Weber kettle. It just didn't survive because technology improved. So it's 108 pounds of cast iron in 3 pieces, plus the grates, all original. And I am restoring that through electrolysis to get the rust and the 70 years of stuff off of it so I can put it back to its original shape.
Do you know how to do electrolysis, or did you have to troll through YouTube?
I've been aware of it, but I've never done it. I do a lot of cast iron, but I always use a different method. I'm always been afraid of taking electricity and putting stuff in water and running electricity through it. This doesn't make sense to me. But this was so big, I said, well, it's time to learn. So I crashed through some YouTubes and just finally, over the last 3 months, decided it's time to put this thing in a tub and see what happens.
So how long has it been in the soak for? Is it going on 48 hours now?
Yeah, it went in Sunday. So we're at the 48-hour mark. I have pulled it out and taken a look at it.
We're talking about the
It's a pretty
pot,
interesting
right?
process. Yeah, I have the base in there right now. The base was the biggest piece, so I started with that. I have a 35-gallon, horse watering tub or feeding tub from Tractor Supply, some rebar, a battery charger, some washing soda to make the electrolyte, and you pass current through this thing. And I'm thinking in about a week it'll be stripped down, and that portion will be ready to paint.
It's in the soak for a week?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I think it's.
What color is it? What color do you think it's going to be coming out, or what? I don't even know what the right words are. But how is it supposed to look?
It will come out black because I'm sure there's a lot of listeners that can get me more information on this than I have. The iron oxide turns to magnetite as it gives up that molecule through the electrolysis. So it becomes black. Doug's laughing. He probably knows more about it than me. But
I think he's just surprised you're using words like electrolysis and magnetite on this show. Like, this is the crash course in wizardry here.
Well, it's a pretty simple process. It's like bowling. I'll do it, but I don't want to understand it. Okay. So, so it's going to be black. And even when I pulled it out yesterday, there was a lot of black powder on it. And I'll actually leave that black powder on there until it goes to paint to protect it from re-rusting again. So it's going to come out black. And then once that black powder is scrubbed off, it should have a gray appearance like a clean piece of cast iron would after you get ready to season it after a restore.
So how much more time do you have after the week of bath before you will have it like all together in John Stolberg shape?
Well, there's 3 main parts. So there's the base, we'll call it the riser ring or the rotisserie ring, and the lid. So I'm planning on a week for each one of those parts.
Oh my Lord.
Then there's all the hardware, which was taken off. There's the pinwheel vent, the handles, all of the screws, the nuts and bolts. I don't think those will take quite as long. So I'm hoping to get that part of it in paint within a month. And in the meantime, there's also an original cart for this that everything's original except for the wheels. And I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to go about that part of it. And I'm really thinking about high temperature powder coating that back to its original color.
I'm getting a question from Instant Chat. I have no idea if this was a thought or if it's even a feasible process, but is sandblasting an option or no?
It is, but I use soda blasting on a lot of grills, but it's for smaller parts. And I soda blast because it's not a mess. It's easy to clean up. So you could do it, but when you use electrolysis, you don't remove any material. You convert the oxidation back to something else. So you're not removing material from it. So you're not going to restore it back to new, but you're not going to take as much material off of it. In this case of this big cast iron pot, I don't think it would hurt you to sandblast it or some type of media blasting. I just didn't want to go through that mess in the process of doing it myself.
All right, so hopefully in the next month or so, we'll see this finished product. Maybe we can get another recap here in one of the embedded correspondence segment. So I appreciate you sharing that with us, John, because I found just the tub portion of it very MacGyverish of you. I watch it with incredible fascination going, look at this son of a bitch up here putting together all this stuff and running electricity through what, and there's no way I could ever do that. So I just watch with endless jealousy of you being able to hook that all up and piece it together. I mean, it's absolutely insane. So
it's scary, man. It's the hot tub time machine, and it's scary. I'm not gonna lie. It was scary. When you start, it's like, oh, what's gonna happen?
One of the major topics tonight was name the 5 barbecue / and/or grilling personalities you would like to have at your funeral. Let's answer this question first as we race around the proverbial dais, and we will start with our Oklahoma correspondent. Just yes or no. David, are you afraid to die?
That came out of nowhere.
This is setting up the question, David. Come on, play along.
I'm sure a little bit. I think everybody has a little bit of fear of that.
It's yes or no.
No.
Doug, are you afraid to die?
No.
Steve?
Dying ain't much of a living. Yes.
John Solberg, skater dying?
No.
A skier to die? No.
Not one bit.
Okay, me neither. So one of us is afraid to die. So assuming, well, let's not even assume. Here's the bad news, gang. No one gets out alive. So at some point, we may all be attending each other's barbecue funerals. And the topic would be, what 5 barbecue or grilling personalities, aside from us included, I mean, we all figure we're all going to be at each other's ultimate demise, but what 5 barbecue and grilling personalities would you also like to see at your funeral as you stare back either through an urn or a casket? And we will start with none other than the fine gentleman of Tennessee.
All right. I've got number 1, David Bosca. Number 2, Dave Amend, the
Who's
nicest guy in barbecue.
Who's that?
He's a Southeast guy. He's a KCBS judge,
Okay.
a rep, a competitor. He's the nicest guy in barbecue. Rod Gray, because he's the winningest man on the barbecue Pitmaster series, which you know I love.
Okay.
Ernest Cervantes, who I also love, who never won on barbecue Pitmasters, but appeared multiple times. And the 5th person is the person I want delivering my eulogy.
Oh.
That is Mike McLeod, because I have heard Mike say nice things about bad people before, and he's believable.
Can you give me an example, a working example of that? Or?
I won't do that.
No names, please.
I've heard him. And he'll make a turkey sound like a lamb.
All right. John Solberg from Michigan. What 5 barbecue celebrities would you like to have at your funeral?
Hey, I'm going with a whole cross the border theme here because I'm closer to most of these people than I am all of you. My number 1 on my list is Teddy Reeder needs to be here.
Oh.
He's going to be the master of ceremony. Hopefully he'll bring Optimus Prime with him. The cruise directors for my funeral will be Maddie and Kiki. They're close. They can carpool because they're going to keep everybody happy. They're going to be the barbecue family. While they're coming this way, I want Jason King to come so he can document all this for his YouTube channel. And last but not least, my eulogy should be delivered by Sam, the cooking guy, who is a displaced Canadian.
All right, look at this. Displaced. He left on his own accord. I like that list. That's a good list. I like the addition of Maddie and Kiki. Kind of, to me, would seem a little out of the blue, but I mean, I do think that they would bring a certain je ne sais quoi to your funeral. David Huff from Oklahoma. Who's going to be celebrity-wise at your funeral?
Okay, first off, I'm going to answer the question in the spirit of the show, but if I'm dead, who cares? I have no idea. I want him at my party, not at my funeral.
But that's why we're talking about it now.
Okay, well, that being said, would you have asked me this question 2 weeks ago? I also would have had Sam the cooking guy there.
Uh-oh.
But now I'm afraid that he would have called me a douchebag during my eulogy.
Uh-oh.
So,
Pretty
you're
good
off
chance.
the list, Sam. Not that you care. All right. So, I would have Bobby Flay. He was my first inspiration into grilling and cooking.
Okay.
This is a different one, but Kenji Lopez Alt. I am just enamored with the things that he's doing on Serious Eats and the science behind the food. He's like the modern day Alton Brown to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I find him very interesting. Malcolm Reed, who I think is one of the nicest guys in barbecue. Just love his personality and seems like he'd be a lot of fun. Johnny Trigg, the godfather of barbecue, in my opinion. I would want him at the at my funeral. And the last but not least, certainly, sitting in the back of the room in a nice little black dress with sunglasses on, I would want Jess Pryles, so my wife would look at her and think, who is that lady and what was she doing with my husband? And it would be perfect.
Look at this guy. He's got it nailed down. Locked down in Oklahoma. I like it. Let's go to Texas and Doug Scheid.
Okay, well, I'm not going to have a funeral because I'm going to be cremated. So it should be a party or a celebration. And you cannot start the list without having Chad Ward there as the party director. He will liven any party. Never met a stranger. Aaron McCargo, he's the one that got me into cooking overall and starting to cooking ribs. I've only met this guy once, but he is a wild dude. Stretch from Grinders Barbecue. I would want him at the party. Unlike David, I would want Sam the cooking guy there. Who cares about a few S and F bombs thrown here and there? And Greg, you said that I would be watching. So I'm going to change my answer because my last answer would have been Bobby Flay.
Okay.
But I know you will be there.
Yeah.
So I would want Guy Fieri there and I want you there. And so I would love to watch that interaction. So
what do you think would happen?
A fight would break out at a funeral. That'd be awesome.
No. Look, I mean, I know Steve doesn't listen to the show, but if anybody else listens to the show, I have maintained through and through that I love Guy. I want to hang out with Guy. I want to get his cast off poon. I want to show, toss beers with this guy. I just don't like the fact that he's in the Barbecue Hall of Fame. Would I say that to his face at your funeral? Yes.
yes,
Yes, of course.
exactly.
As I am eulogizing you uninvited, Doug, that would be the first thing I point out. As we celebrate Doug's great barbecue life, I do want to mention that Guy Fieri should not be in the Barbecue Hall of Fame, pulling at the very fabric. My list, very quickly, first and foremost, wow, I almost hit the timing just right there. For me, my initial live fire inspiration and third Tuesday of the month guest, Stephen Reichland. Most prolific cookbook author, too, by the way. Then to be like an MC and a eulogizer as well, because he is filled with an incredible amount of information at live fire. Somebody who I've met in person and that I have a personal relationship outside of the show relationship. Meathead from AmazingRibs.com. You might find this crazy, but only to get him up and have him announce to everybody at my party, because like Doug, I want to get burned. There's no way I'm going to have a bunch of people stand over my dead body because that is creepy. I want Johnny Trigg to get up and say a few words about how he does not know me and what the hell am I doing here and who is this guy? That's what I want. And then
He was joking, Greg. He was joking. That's what he said.
Of course. He was just joking. Then I want Sterling Ball there because he's a fun guy and I have a relationship with him outside. And then, geez, Here we go. I'm at a toss-up. Let me get out my quarter. Is it going to be Jim Minion or is it going to be Jack Arnold, Instagram sensation? It's going to be Jack Arnold because I want him to make all the Snake River Farms burgers for everybody that's going to be there, cut them in half and juice them out and be like all peace, bro, and all that good stuff because I think he would bring a nice positive vibe to my last party here on Earth. And those are my 5 barbecue and grilling celebrities. All right, so stand
and bring
by.
the Carolina Panther cheerleaders.
Yeah, right, of course. Goes without saying. All right, guys, stand by as we get ready to talk about the things that we would leave or bequeath to each other. I said bequeath, fools. And I will talk to you quickly about Green Mountain Grills.